necessary? It is now December, which is why I am wearing a winter hat. But also the reason to pick up a good book that takes place in the summer. While I was home for American Thanksgiving, I happened to pick up, just because I really wanted to, I read this book at least once a year, a book that I have read so many times, and it's great. For all you Sarah Dessen fans out there, The Truth About Forever. Note the original cover, none of these new covers, which I really don't enjoy. Sorry, I know everyone else is excited about them. This is the original cover. This is the best one. This is the best one. Someone once commented that I hold books that I like near my face, and so that's what I'm going to do right now. Many people say to me, wait, you've read all of Sarah Dessen's books except for the last one, and you don't read romance? I consider this to be YA, which happens to have romance in it, and this is my favorite one. In fact, out of all of them, I'm not really sure how many she has at this point. This is my favorite, and it's the only one that I actually own. Anyway, if you're new to Sarah Dessen writes books all centered around the same town, Lakeview, which I believe is supposed to be a fictitious town in North Carolina, and they all have a strong teenage female protagonist. Fittingly for December, this book tells the story of Macy Queen, who is facing the summer before her senior year of high school. She's 16 years old. Her mother and her have a strained and tenuous relationship. Her boyfriend is perfect, really intelligent, really accomplished, is going off to camp for the whole summer. Brain camp, mind you, for incredibly smart people, and she's going to be stuck doing his job at the info desk in the library with no real prospects of fun. She's sort of into herself, has latched on to him in the wake of traumatic events of her past, and is moving forward from there. But at one of her mother's events for the housing construction company that they own, called Queen Homes, she meets these folks in a catering company, specifically this one boy called Wes, which I know is very similar to my own name, Wes. My cousin's name actually is Wes. Hey, Wesley. Anyway, I believe that I've talked about him in previous videos, probably tags that Bex and I have done, and he's a great character, and it's for that reason I think that I love this book so much. This book is full of characters with serious, real, tangible, to the point that you can get when reading a novel, flaws. Characters are flawed. Almost each one of them has a discernible problem with their personality or with their lives that they're looking to get over, and they all kind of help each other come to the conclusion of how they can change in the course of almost 400 pages. If you haven't discerned by now that this is a character-driven plot rather than a plot-driven plot, let me just take this moment to tell you that all of the characters are so different. All of them sort of take their personality flaws and traits to extremes in a way. Macy's mother is very, very dedicated to her work, very focused and very serious, and fits into this tight little organized, neat, controlled world. And that's so far from a lot of the other characters in the book. And it's nice to see that an author doesn't slack when portraying personality traits that are as strong as those. Sarah Dessen keeps with the characteristics that she's given her characters all the way throughout the book, even so when they start to change. You can see the changes in them happen slowly but surely throughout the text, but there's still that underlying current of who they always were, because my personal belief, people never change. Not entirely. The writing is nice, it's easy to understand. I fly through this book faster and faster every time. I read this in about 2 days. That's probably because I can tell you verbatim what the characters are going to say before they say it, because I've read it that many times. I don't know how much more I can stress that this is my favorite Sarah Dessen book. Much in the same way as Pixar, actually, Sarah Dessen kind of has little Easter eggs in all of her work. She hides little mentions of other books and other characters in specific books that she has. For instance, there's a character that gets mentioned in here whose significance is far greater in another book, but you'd never know that unless you had read all her work. So the more work of hers you read, the more you sort of see this whole town and this community and these characters come together and how everybody fits in, which I think is really interesting, and I wish more authors did that because it's a very, very unique thing to do. That being said, I give this book 4 out of 5 stars because it is a young adult romance novel and it is a touch on the predictable side. Then again, most of Sarah Desmond's work follows in the same vein as the rest of her books, but predictability is what it is. I hope you're having lovely weeks and lovely lives and lovely Decembers no matter what holiday you are or perhaps are not celebrating, and I shall see all of you very soon.